Hello, everybody. I'm Cherish.
And I'm Joy.
And we're Tizicals Musicals. And we didn't just come back from it, but over the weekend we saw Empire. What is Empire, you may ask? We had the same questions when we walked in. To be honest, we had the same question while we were there watching. It was...
not our favorite.
Yeah, it wasn't our favorite, although I can say that the second act had answered a lot of questions that I had in the first act. Like it came more together in the second act for me. But
yeah, I wasn't very pulled into the story, I should
right.
say.
I was interested in the
premise.
In the premise of it, like, oh, it's about the Empire State Building. I'm down. I love architecture. I like hearing about like old New York. I like I don't know how to explain it. Like the time it was in speaks to me. Like that's like one of my favorite times for musicals.
Yeah. The Empire is about the building of the Empire State Building, and it focuses on like the Mohawk indigenous people that helped build, were the iron workers of the Empire State Building. Apparently, Mohawk people are very famous for building a lot of New York City.
Which I had no idea about.
They were the what do you call it? They called them the something walkers.
Yeah,
still walkers.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, like that. So yeah.
I had no idea. And I mean, not just the Empire State Building, I mean like the Brooklyn Bridge, like a lot of like iconic buildings.
They pretty much built.
I'm sure the Chrysler Building, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so
and it follows a family, and also there's the architect of said building, and also there's like the mayor who the building was originally meant to be named after,
Alfred E. Smith.
Yeah.
And at the end they changed it to Empire State Building.
I'm not sure if that's the reason why it was changed. I'm not sure. It was a little hard to tell what was exactly like true
and what was fiction.
Yeah, beefed up with the story. Like, so the mayor was a real guy. I'm assuming the architect was a real guy. I'm not sure why you would make that up. I'm sure that person was real. Yeah. And the character of Wolodsky Wally. I think she was a new character. She was kind of like our I don't know if heroine is the right word, but she was considered like the brains of the operation.
Kind of calling the shots and things like that.
Yeah, it would be nice if she were true, but I don't think that was the case.
Probably not at that time. No.
But I don't. I
think it follows this Mohawk family
or half Mohawk family.
Yeah, and
it took a while. It
switches between times a bit, or that's the confusing part. The lady is kind of in and out of time, and then somehow she inserts herself into
the narrative,
narrative that we are seeing play out, and so it's like, and then all of a sudden people could see her,
right?
And it's a bit confusing.
It was not linear, and what was so not funny, but the girls I was sitting by were kind of like, you know what? It's kind of like, did they use the word suffering, or did they was like, it's giving Paradise Square? I can't remember exactly what, but basically they were comparing it to like Paradise Square, and I can see why they would say that, but I don't agree with it. I think they were more so going by like the story, like maybe having a lot of threads. I think that's what they were getting at.
Yeah.
But to me, Paradise Square's story was a lot easier to follow.
It was very easy to follow.
And
Paradise Square had better music to me.
Yes. So the music was not my favorite music.
No.
I'm trying to think, was there a song? There was a song towards the end that I was kind of like, oh, okay. And that was the one. Let me double check.
Yeah,
that was the one. Was it the Empire song? It might be Empire.
Maybe. Oh my God, there is so much songs in the first act.
Yeah.
The first act kind of took forever for me. I was just kind of waiting. To be honest, I was waiting for intermission so bad.
Right, a little bit.
I got a little tired.
I was really wanting to be like, are you understanding any of what's happening? Somehow, with the the revelation, like literally somebody has to die, and then I'm kind of like, oh, and then I go, oh, and then it kind of was like, that's what we were watching, like that's what this was all leading up to. And then I was able to start like putting the story together, and I just feel like that shouldn't. It's not a whodunit or like a mystery, so that doesn't really work.
Just connected somehow, I guess, right?
It just So the woman who's telling the story is the daughter of a Mohawk woman who was secretly married to this, like, was he Polish?
He was Polish.
This Polish guy, which was a big no-no, obviously, of the race mixing. When you think about, this took place in the 30s? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so basically, their marriage is a bit of a secret, obviously.
And she's secretly working on the Empire State Building.
She's an iron worker, basically, which is also like a no-no because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And
she dresses up as a man. Yeah.
And this all gets uncovered because her husband dies while the building is they're like 100 stories at that point up.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And
a wind came and he saved them somehow.
Yeah.
And then, I guess, couldn't save himself. And that mix, and he unfortunately falls to his death. And
when people are like paying their respects and they're coming to see his like widow, they're like, oh my God, he was married to like a Mohawk woman. And then it's uncovered, like Wally, like the boss, right? She's like, oh my goodness, she kind of puts to it.
Yeah.
She recognizes this woman and she's like, you can't work.
Yeah.
And somehow she convinces the woman to let her stay on, and she lets her because Wally's all girl power. And she's like, sure. But then it's revealed that she can't work on the building anymore because she's actually pregnant. Mm-hmm. And that's with the woman who's telling the story. Now, the woman who's telling the story has her own daughter now at this point,
and she wants to work construction.
And you're like, why? But it makes sense. Clearly, it's in her blood, like her grandmother. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, why not? But it took a long time. I was just trying to figure out like who was related to who, and then so we followed the architect and we followed the mayor, who's like, is he funding the building, kind of more or less, and
we followed the other people working on it, the Irish guy, the 2 Italian guys.
Yeah. The Midwesterner who comes and everyone's trying to make their mark on the city, on this like building. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot. It's feel good, I guess, when you think about it. Mm-hmm. I definitely learned a lot more. Like, I had no idea the hand that the Mohawk played in the city, in its building. To be honest, in my mind, they're all like, it was all the immigrants working on. In my mind, that's the kind of image portrayed to us, which is not 100% true. I mean, they were also there, but so were, Native Americans, and it makes sense.
And the Native Americans were considered like the crust, like they were like the cream of the crop when it comes to moving the steel and stuff like that. And everyone wanted to work with the Mohawk.
Yeah, it's like if you work with the Mohawk, you made it in life.
Yeah,
feels
like something New York City public schools should probably teach.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there is a museum down by South Street Seaport. There's like a Native American museum. I wonder if there's
Battery Park.
What did I say? South Street? Yeah, it was Battery Park.
Yeah.
It's by the statue, not the statue, the ferry.
The ferry, yeah.
I think it might be free. I'm not 100% sure. I just remember being down there when we worked down there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, when I heard about like it was following like the Mohawk, and I expected more indigenous music. They did like a chant once or twice, but it wasn't enough for me. I mean, to me, the best song about erecting a skyscraper came from King Kong, and that cannot be topped. That song is. I'm so upset that King Kong does not have a cast recording, because that song. Literally,
New York City going up.
When that song started playing at King Kong, we were like locked in.
It was, and they were like actually like going up on like
here it started off, and I was just kind of. It started off with they were speaking in like Mohawk, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah. You know what was also a little confusing, that the show was double casted at times. I think that also kind of threw me off the path.
And we were also front row, so it's not like, oh, maybe you guys are too far back to really get into it. We were literally front row.
Yeah, so it's at New World stages, and those theaters are not big at all.
And I literally had to remind myself to fix my posture because these people can see me, and I did not want them to be like, oh no, she's not enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like respectful and mindful, but it really was kind of a hard show for me personally to sit through. And I find that, like, that's really hard for shows to do for me.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not my favorite show, I'm usually pretty interested. But here, I just kind of was like, I need intermission to happen. And yeah, I mean, and the set was pretty okay for New World Stage.
It was actually, I actually really enjoyed it, because I remember we were sitting and it's like an open stage, and I was like, oh, Troy, there's like buildings on the brick back there, and you were like, what?
Yeah, I can't tell. They lit up the windows, and I was like, yes, that's towards the end.
Yeah, it was a pretty. Now I read something that said like when it was out of town or somewhere else where it was running before, like the set was had more going on. They was like apparently it got like a downgrade when it made it to New World stages.
Like, yeah, it's a small stage. Maybe they didn't want to put too much things. I mean, I wish it
looked industrial. It was a very like industrial looking.
It had steel beams,
exposed brick
on the sides of the stage. Like in the audience, they had like the house.
Yeah.
Like the little kitchen area and stuff like that, which is nice, I guess. They had like the staircase and stuff like that. I do wish that when the Polish guy, I forgot his name. I do wish that we actually saw him fall because they
Rudy, right?
Yeah, they did like a light to kind of show, but I just was like, wait, what's happening?
No, Pokolsky.
Right? Remember? We were like, wait, did he fall?
It was like and then it was like sound effects of things like
breaking.
Yeah,
and I was like, I needed more. I needed to see him fall. Sorry. Like, I really, I needed to see him drop. I needed something else. It kind of gave me like the disappointed vibes, like when we saw Les Mis, when Javert died, and he just kind of steps back. And we were just kind of like,
and he goes,
yeah, we were like, no, no, sorry, we need something more dramatic than that. Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, they had a pretty big amount, like a lot of dancing for this type of show, I would say.
It did. And you know what really kind of got me interested in the show was that it was directed by Katie Huffman.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think the direction was the problem. I think the book and the music can be a little better. I think the direction was fine. Like, I think nothing seemed too clunky moving in and out, really.
Oh no, Rudy was the wife. She's actually Native American.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. There's a few. Him and the guy the Mohawk guy. He's actually Native too.
The one that played the brother?
Yeah.
The uncle brother?
Yeah.
There he go.
Native. Indigenous, sorry, I should say indigenous. Which is nice to see, like, actual indigenous, like, rep on stage and stuff like that. But the story itself just kind of lost me.
There you go.
I think, is that him? Jesse.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Danny Itomi Bevins. Yeah, I just wish the music did a little bit more for me. I was just kind of like, yeah.
That's so, broad, indigenous. I'm like, what? Like, tell us the tribe. But
yeah, it's very
Is that common to just use that?
I guess they're a little more united. I guess.
I guess so. Really? Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So. Wasn't our favorite. I mean, I'm glad we saw it. It's always nice to see stuff, even if you don't like it. It's always nice to see. You never know until you see it, so to speak. And maybe someone else realized it because the girls next to us were like laughing.
It was weird because they really were like responding to like the show, and then intermission when they were like confused and like not sure what was happening. I was like, so y'all just laughing or like I was like,
because the lady to my right also seems a bit indifferent to what was going on. So the
kids behind us liked it. They specifically were like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
there were like a group of like teenagers behind us.
I mean, I can see it being something people. I mean, it was dancing, like everyone was singing.
It's the book, I think. The book needs help.
The book needs help, and the music needs help.
Yeah.
Which I always say it. I'm okay with the book being a little but the music has to be good. Like Paradise Square's book was a little meh.
Yeah.
But the music was pretty good. You know, but this one, the book and the music didn't really hold my attention.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities. Like I like when they started doing like the steel work and they used to have the thing sound. I felt like, and I'm no composer and I'm no musical.
We needed more of that.
We needed a recurring.
Yeah,
we needed earworm. And that was the only earworm, and it never went on long enough. I think it should have started with that.
But they didn't start construction on it yet. But I guess there were other construction happening in there.
Yeah, they could have just started.
Yeah. Well, they had that whole song about like knocking down the original structure that was there where they put it. So
yeah. I mean, but still.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of missed opportunities, but you can't win them all. But we got a magnet, of course.
Yeah, and
I want to know if
I was surprised they had merchandise. To be honest, they don't always have for the shows and the world stages. But so that was Empire. Talk to you guys later. Bye.